Hello viewers. They say that family is one of the nature's masterpiece. A happy family is not but an early heaven. So today, join me as we talk about family. I know we've been talking about much about it, but we want to emphasize. This time we want to know, how do we build a family spirit? How do we create that atmosphere that everyone has a sense of belonging and everyone is involved and everyone feels that yes, this is my family. So join me today as I sit with my friend here, Anne. Those of you who don't know me, Molep Sinja is my name, and this is To Havereno Family Connect channel. Join us, like us, and share us. And for this and more, come and sit, take your tea, pick your popcorns, and let's engage. Anne, you're welcome.
Thank you, Molly.
Yes.
As you're mentioning about family, you know, every time you speak, there's family spirit, and all that. And I'm already in the spirit
Of family.
of family. My name is Annette.
Yeah.
Nice to have you.
So Annette, we are talking about how to build a family. I know in our past episodes we emphasized more about marriage, but even when we talk about marriage, we cannot talk about everything in just 30 minutes, even if they gave us a whole day, because this is a very big animal that we will not even accomplish in one day. But just be patient with us. Step by step, we will be talking about everything. I know some of you say, talk about this, we want to talk about, relax. We are here to stay with your prayers and support. So Anne, how do we build a strong family?
Previously been talking about marriage. So with marriage, it can transition into
A family.
a family
It's a continuous.
over two people. So a family is a group of two or more people that live together, either by blood, by relation,
Adoption.
or adoption. Now, building a strong spirit in families still takes back to intentionality. Everything surrounds around the attitude of your intentions towards a family spirit. There's that sense of, have you been to a place where you go, for example, but you just feel welcome,
I
you feel
know.
like you belong
It's like
in
they-
that
it's
space,
like
in
how
that
they
atmosphere?
put air freshener. It's like something that you smell, you feel, but you can't touch.
Absolutely. There's that sense of belonging, and that does not come automatic. It comes with being intentional. What are the things still you as the couple, you are the vision bearers. What are you creating?
What are you
Which
instilling?
environment are you creating for your family, so that even me who does not belong in that space, whenever I come, I feel there's a sense of belonging. And a family spirit is inside out.
Yes.
How a family, we see now, I just want to focus on children in this case. A family that has been intentional on building a spirit that creates a sense of belonging. You see children. Have you seen children visiting and they don't want to leave?
I know.
Have you seen children who would prefer being in another place
Yes,
than their home?
Yes.
Have you seen people they don't just want to be home? I
Yes,
mean,
you've seen the people at campus. The semester ends, someone is like, I would rather get a job. I would rather clean and mop somewhere,
But not going back
not
home.
going back home.
so a family is not just about the house,
The building.
it takes someone to build a home, a home where you feel valued, a home where you feel you belong, a home where you feel loved.
Yes.
So love is one of the greatest
Spirit, that core value, or maybe
a
an
value
ingredient
that is very key
in building.
in building a foundation that has the family that is strong, the family that can have, you can be able to relate with it, where there is love.
Yeah.
Love is an atmosphere, how you make someone feel,
Yes.
how you make your children feel, how you make your spouse feel, how do they feel a sense of
belonging.
love, even do they feel loved?
Do they feel
Do you
valued?
love each other anyway? So love is one of the
And you know, the
key
Bible
aspects.
talks about love. It says love is patient, meaning you have to be patient. Sometimes when we are raising children, because we have had our past failures, we have these inside fears that we project our children. So you fear that they should not do this because they will end up like you. So we need to be patient, knowing that our children, God has cut them in a different piece. They have their own different design and their different destinies, and even how they are going to operate is different. Ours is support, ours is to guide, ours is to create platforms for them, and we should also put in that allowance of allowing them to fail when we can see them. It is better for a child to fail when you can see and mend the wound and wash it, other than protecting them from fading, and then they fail tomorrow where they get into broken. So it is very important to be patient when we are building, because when you are building something for a long time, you must be patient. We will have short and long term objectives. It is a step by step. We need to be, they say love is patient, love is kind. We need to be kind with one another in the way we speak, in the way we act, in the way we respond. At times someone does something and then you bump out like a lion, but even when it is something that you feel like you have to contain and say, now I know when I come out upon this child like this, he or she is going to lose it. So we must contain ourselves. So we must be patient, we must be kind, we must be forgiving, because in a family, abanyankole, they say that muje ture hamwe ni muje twangana. If you say come we stay together is come we hate each other, because amidst staying together you will hurt each other, you will knock on each other's feet, you will do many things. But the atmosphere of forgiving, teaching our children to forgiving our children, even forgiving ourselves. Husband and wife, do you forgive yourself, or you just scream and bang and they see that you're not even? Then the other thing is being a right role model as parents. Remember, as parents, we are the primary role model for our children. And even as research has shown that our voice, our parents' voice, is a primary voice in a child, even when they go outside and get influence. But even in our adulthood now, have you ever been there and you're going to do something wrong and you hear the voice of your mom or your dad or your aunt, depending on who raised you? And even today we were at school, and then the headmaster was telling us how their grandmother said that their grandmother is 85, but he taught them that never eat something that is not yours, but even when you eat it, admit that you have eaten it, and after admitting, pay for it. So he still remembers that value. So as building a family spirit, we need to have open communication. Love, we talked about it, and even people know what love, the characteristics of love. We need to have open communication. Can everyone in their family, in our family, express themselves? Can a child come and tell you what has hurt them, what has made them happy? Can a husband speak? Can a wife speak? Even the maids, they should experience that atmosphere. Is there a flow? Do you have activities you do together? Do you have vocations you do together? Do you have games you do together? Do you even know each other's talents, gifts, and potentials? Do you support? If a child is going for sports, do you come back behind them and rally and become the first cheerleaders? Or you're like, you even forget that there was a sport somewhere, and then the child comes back when they are broken. We need to be grateful and to show gratitude and appreciation when a child does something, when a husband does something good. The other day, our gas was done, and then after some days, my husband bought a gas, so he kept on asking, so how is the gas? How is the gas? I was like, it is wonderful, it is solving all my problems. So he wants to see what he did. Has it really helped you? So when let's be supportive, let's value one another, let's appreciate one another, let's support one another. That is how you can build a family with our family spirit, a sense of belonging. Because family is not a building. Family is not a clan we come from. Family is an atmosphere that you create. That's why you see when someone has lost their connection with family, wherever they go, Even their drug addicts there in their what they call them, what, in their ghettos. Those people they have made a family because they agree, they believe each other, they support each other, they are there. So family is not just being born with someone. I always tell people that family does not only stop at being born with you. There is more than me being born with you. I can be born with you, but when I'm not your friend. I can be born with you when I'm not your cheerleader. I can be born with you when I even don't share anything common with you.
And just pause a little bit on that. And I think, like I mentioned, as parents, we have to be able to enable love between siblings.
That's true.
Because everything, like I mentioned, starts from family. Yes, we might see things that are abnormal and make them normal, but the initial purpose of family is for us to nurture but build together.
Yes.
Build our relations around that family. That's why I say, as a mother, if I have my 5 children and they sense a bit of a bit of maybe favoring the other against another, that will cause commotion.
That's true.
Or maybe they realize that I'm filled with favoritism from one, with a certain, maybe girls
or
versus
sex,
boys,
gender.
that also will cause a problem. And being intentional, I always say intentionality is key, because most of us have come from unique families.
I know what we call
that
blended
you
families.
don't even sure, you've never had someone tell you I love you.
I know.
And this is your parent. your only way of, when you do something, they
Nice.
only remember the bad that you've done.
Yes.
But you even wonder, have I ever done anything
Anything
good?
good.
And some of us who come from homes where we don't see mom and dad, and we are surrounded by
Aunties, nannies.
stepmoms and all that, there's a lot of hurting that happens in there. And if we are not careful, it can pass on to the
true.
children. That's why I
That's true.
say, when we still go back as vision bearers, we need to be intentional. That's why when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, they say, what you've seen in Egypt, you
You will
won't
never see again.
There are some things that happened in
To
my
us.
home that every day, that's what they say, family is hard work. I'm like, I don't want to see certain things that I saw, whereby you find you have a sibling but you're fighting each other.
I know.
Your success is a problem to them. Their success is, maybe you feel happy, you feel something, but no celebration at all.
You only meet at
You
the
realize that
barrio.
maybe you're in the same class, but when you perform better,
It's a
there's
war.
no celebration even. It's a war. Someone's like,
tears.
how? You get a job. That's why I mentioned naturally. If you don't find home in your home where you're
you will
brought,
never find
you'll
it.
always find love anywhere else.
true.
And that's why, as for a girl, that's why you find maybe a girl who has grown in a family setting where they don't feel loved, they don't feel valued,
They have that virtue.
chances are that this girl always feel what sense of belonging
Yes.
is natural. You want to feel loved, and that's why when you see mistakes happening, sometimes it's because you never feel the love in
Yes,
that
there's a
home,
void in their heart.
in that heart that
And
is
they
supposed
always
to be.
want to look for love in
So
things.
God has given us family as a gift. It is important that we work on it. It is important that siblings love each other. I think that's one of the mandate that I always tell my children. Have you greeted your sister? Have you greeted your brother? As simple as that. Wake up, greet your brother, greet your sister.
Be in
As
their
you're
life.
going to sleep, say good night to your brother. Hug your brother, hug your sister.
Expression of love.
Celebrate. That's why if it is one's birthday, everything else stops, and we concentrate on that
one.
person.
And we are all
And
celebrating.
we really celebrate them.
Yes.
If one person is sick in our home,
We are all
everything else
sick.
drops.
Yes.
We all want to see that this person has. I think that is the spirit that we should have.
Yes.
And we are not creating this because we saw it. Some of us, even when you're sick, they take to the hospital, and you hardly even hear someone asking you, how are you? So it doesn't matter where we have come from.
Yeah, we can,
but we can be intentional
and do
to
something
building,
different, yeah.
to building. Trust me, I'm raising a family where my daughter should not feel scared of sharing something with the sister,
Yes.
because the sister will feel envious of them. No, these are the things that we need to work. You
Yeah.
saw this, there are some it's not
Values.
what you eat that spoils the
It
body.
is what comes out of you.
Out of you, the anger,
Yeah.
the jealous, the hate, the all that,
The unforgiveness.
the talk about unforgiveness. I think when you talk about forgiveness, it's still back. We cannot just build from a shallow foundation. As vision bearers, there's some things you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive your past hurts. You have to forgive and be purposeful
Mistakes.
to move forward.
Yeah.
And personally, there are even some like ties you cut. Even
Yes.
you say, if this is not bringing me peace for my family's growth, I'd rather leave it.
Yeah.
So there's that bit of sacrifice certain things.
And it's, when you talk about sacrifice, it is sacrifice. We must sacrifice our time.
Yeah.
If we are going to invest in families, we must sacrifice our time. We must sacrifice our talent. We must sacrifice our treasure. We must sacrifice even some mentality. I always tell people that I have decided to become a wall.
Wow.
I have decided to become a wall, at the same time a bridge. A wall that what happened behind stays behind. Now we are building towards the future. A bridge. I'm transitioning a generation from the past broken to the present, which is God has in future for us,
Wow.
which I believe is the best. So, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot talk about family and finish. But we want to encourage you that to build a family is a continuous process, which is not going to end in one day. And even when we talk about family, we cannot talk about family now and finish it. But we just give you nuggets. We just give you a little highlights, tips, so that you can also copy, live. You can also instill them in your family. But we want to encourage you as a family. Have values, have goals, have things you believe. Let people know that this family is known for that. Let these people know that this is. We even see it in our past generations. So let's be intentional, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, thank you for engaging with us. I remain Model Sinja Katewa. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share our page. We shall be coming with more. Just keep on this page, and you will experience more to come. See you next time.